cost to try and safeguard the rest of the country from this broken down system that is on the verge of pushing us off this precipice, but after which there will be no coming back. And you can all feel it. Like, we're all heading in that direction. That's why I'm running for president. I'm not running for president because I fantasized about ever being president. I'm running for president because I'm an American and I'm a parent, and I can see the country we will leave to our children, and it is not something that I'm willing to accept.
My reasoning for being here in Iowa is when I'm looking at the candidates that are available for this election, I think about the fact that nobody's perfect. And when I'm looking at the things that I don't like about the candidates, I resonate with the fact that when I look at Andrew Yang, the only thing I really don't like about him is that he is in the Democratic Party. He represents more than just the Democratic Party. He represents all of Americans, and he resonates with all of Americans across party lines. He gets people from the president's backing, he gets people from the middle, he gets people from the left, and he doesn't speak ill of anybody on either side. He just talks about the policies, the solutions to the problems, and how he's going to get us all the way home.
You know, in D.C., they can't even see people in life expectancy anymore. They're just following the money. Washington, D.C. today is the richest city in our country. Think about that for a second. What do they produce?
Part of what appeals to me about Andrew Yang and what has inspired me to volunteer is the fact that he's inclusive. I'm a Trump supporter from 2016, lifelong Republican, yet here I am walking through the snow, knocking on doors because I believe in the message that Andrew delivers, and I believe that when we get him in the White House, our lives really will be better.
So why am I here in Iowa? I came here because of Andrew Yang. I was introduced to him back in July. My daughter turned me on to him. And I was totally disconnected from politics. I've never participated in any political campaign ever in my entire life. Never contributed, never really paid attention. I voted a few times, but just was totally disconnected. I didn't feel that politicians had my best interest at all. And I hear politicians talk about family values, but I don't see that. I see families being torn apart. I see people fighting and arguing and yelling and screaming at each other. I don't see dialogue, and I've lost a lot of hope because of that. And when I heard Andrew Yang speak, he gave me hope to get up in the morning and do my best to help others, because that's what we need. I didn't know what to expect when I came out to Iowa, and I'm blown away and so grateful for the people who are here. They've come from all over this country, and they all have amazing stories and so many different backgrounds. I'm truly touched by the love and support that I have found here.
How Andrew wants to raise awareness on mental health problems and getting rid of the stigma. And in recent years, like, suicides are a big problem, especially with the teens in Utah, and the LGBTQ teens specifically. And just these past couple years, in like a small town, Harriman, in a school there, 6 kids killed themselves, and like year after year, it's like 2 kids die that year, the next year. So it's like, you know, who's next? So, yeah. That's why I'm here, supporting Andrew Yang and fighting for my community and the people there that look like me and my friends, and I don't want to see anyone else gone. because of that. Yeah, so when he says, like, our kids are not all right, they're really not. So that's why I'm fighting to get this man in the White House.
And I'm running for president because of a thought that the parents here in this room have had, but we have been afraid to express. And it is this: our kids are not all right. They are not all right because we have left them a future far darker than the lives that we have led as their parents.
I mean, the most down-to-earth answer to that is that, so I was applying for a PhD program about solid-state physics, and then usually you don't get your answer back until mid-February or mid-March. And during this time, I don't want to just scratch my hair away and check every 2 or 3 minutes what the internet says. So I decided to do something that's actually useful and then that I can be proud of and I can brag about it when I get old to my grandkids. So that gets me to what is actually worth doing. And so I worked as a semiconductor manufacturing engineer throughout last year, and then I took on several projects, and then what got me was that the way the company measures success is by how much operator man-hour we can save, and then we convert that into money. And then although we don't fire any operators, we do think we do plan for not hiring them anymore in the future. And that gets me thinking, what's the solution of it? Of course, my job as an engineer is to improve the process and then not to fight over the company. And then the decisions we made are all reasonable. So that got me thinking that there needs to be a societal movement to combat that. And then that, about the same time I heard about Andrew Yang's idea, I think that his idea really fits the 21st century problem. Another thing that got me thinking is that 21st century is a century of technology and data, and there are all these trends of AI, about automation, and about quantum computing, all these fancy stuff. One commonality between them is that they all require a lot of assets, which means that if you have more data, if you have more money, you're going to be more advanced in these technologies. And that poses, that means that even though these Chinese, these Russian government, they don't have democracy, and then just the bare fact that they're able to hold all the resources in their own hand is gonna make the technological trend of 21st century favor them. And then that will pose an immediate threat to the free society of democratic countries. So I do treasure the freedom of speech and then the freedom of actions. I love all these countries, and then I don't want these freedoms that people fight and lost their lives to fight for die in vain. So that's why I would like to fight for Andrew Yang.
So I'm 19 years old. I've never paid any attention to politics before. I think that's pretty common with young people. Like, that's something usually reserved for older people and stuff. Ever since Trump, I've been paying a little more attention to politics, and obviously now with the re-election coming up, like, you guys see like who was, the new candidates. So I went online. It was at the time there was like 30 candidates or something. There was like a huge list of candidates, and Yang immediately stood out. And since then, I actually started doing some research on him. I like what he said, and I discovered that he has tons of other podcasts and videos and stuff. So with Yang, it's kind of like something about Yang makes you kind of like you kind of get stuck in a rabbit hole. Like, you watch one video and you just want to watch more. Like, for someone that you don't really hear about in the media and the press, you just naturally gravitate, I guess. And now at this point of the game, the most important thing is just getting his name out there and literally talking to people on the ground in Iowa. And this is what was said, and I'm like, yeah, it's true. So at first it was like I guess it was just like a dream, I guess. Like, oh yeah, that would be cool. Like, going to Iowa would be cool. But then as I thought about it more and more, I was like, yeah, you're right. Like, that actually could make a difference. And I'm working on this mindset of, not thinking, like doing. Like, I usually think a lot. I'm an overthinker. But definitely taking action is something that I'm trying to do more of. Like, just doing things and not overthinking, and just, being the change that you want to see done. Like, if you want something done, just go for it. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just go for it.